Everyone, remain calm.
Yeah, that's how it always starts. And later there's running and screaming.
Somebody talk to me! What is happening?
Welcome to Jurassic World.
You're listening to the Jurassic Park Podcast.
You want to consult here or in my bungalow? Hold on to your butts.
Well, we're back.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 153rd episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Jost, and we're here to discuss all things Jurassic Park. This is the first episode of Jurassic June. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom debuts in theaters this month, actually this week in the United Kingdom, and across the world and other places as well. This is crazy. This is a crazy time. It's a tough time for many of us here in the US as we have to stay off the internet and away from all the spoilers and whatnot that'll be abound on the internet. So, fair warning, just be nice, people. Be cautious of the people who cannot see this movie. We understand you're very excited and want to talk about it, so talk about it. We'll just have to keep our eyes closed. But this is just a crazy time for Jurassic fans. It is so exciting. June here for the podcast. We have so many things going on. A lot of giveaways, actually, that we will be announcing shortly. We don't have that information for you just yet. We're still finalizing a few prize packs. So we do have a lot of items coming for you. So yeah, we're still working on all the details there. Just keep an eye out on the podcast and on our website for all that stuff in the future. But it is a crazy time. We have the T-Rexes popping up all over the world. It just recently debuted at the Grove in LA. It's out in the UK at the same time, and all kinds of stuff is over there as well. We have, what do we have? We have the DPG in full effect with the website over there, posting all kinds of great content leading up to this film. It really seems like all the stores, like whether it's a Walmart or a Target or any toy store out there, they're in full effect right now with the marketing and everything. So you've seen giant Jurassic World, promo boxes and images and banners and all kinds of stuff in the stores, really showcasing these toys, full shelves. It's been amazing seeing all these images float in from stores around the country and the world, actually. And then you have even more merchandise that's coming out aside from the Mattel stuff and all that. There's Chronicle Collectibles is hitting. It looks like they're hitting it out of the park here with a replica Blue statue, which I think we talked about that earlier. But this thing looks very cool, and it's a life-size baby Blue. Like, that is amazing. I know all the information's out on their Facebook, so you're gonna have to check that one out. It's incredible, and I'm super excited. That's one that I'm pretty itching to get here. I might have to dive deep and get that one. Dive deep into my pockets, by the way. But it might be worth it. And I know I mentioned the Loot Crate last week in the news, but Loot Crate now has a Jurassic Park item. Crazy. Like, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I just love it. I can't believe this is the world we live in right now, where Jurassic Park, Jurassic World is everything. The 4K Blu-ray just came out recently too, and that thing is beautiful. I know I showcased it on Instagram a little while back, but that thing is beautiful. So we now have 4K editions of these movies that came with digital copies and a lot of the bonus features that have obviously already been released. But still, it's great to have a new official copy on Blu-ray of all these things. I love it. I'm sure you've all seen all those Lego sculptures popping up. You've seen one of like Blue by herself. There was one of Blue on top of the overturned Explorer, which is insane, huge. Not even just a little collectible Lego, a life-size, like on the Universal backlot, a full vehicle upside down and a full Blue Velociraptor. Oh, and also Jurassic World Alive is out officially now in the States. It's been a long time coming. It's been released in a lot of other places, but it's officially out in the US, which is amazing. And I dove into it right away. This game is a ton of fun. I have an iPhone, so I instantly downloaded it. I've been playing it like crazy, and it's essentially Pokemon Go. If you guys had a blast playing that game, you should love this one. I like it even more. I enjoyed that one for a little while. I gave up pretty quickly, but overall, I thought that was a fun experience, and I think they even made it better here this time around with Jurassic World Alive. So many things to look forward to in that game. You basically play target practice on a lot of these dinosaurs as you're trying to trank them, I guess, for their DNA, so you can build up your dinosaur assortment there in your collection. It's a lot of fun. I think you're like basically a part of the DPG somehow in this game. And even the AR mode is very cool. You can actually just like go out to a field and present a giant dinosaur right in front of you and take pictures and video. It is really cool. I love this game actually quite a bit. I've been playing it nonstop, like I said. But with Jurassic World Alive, there's actually special events happening starting June 4th. It's like a featured dinosaur will spawn under like a special category or something in like your local parks and other areas. And I guess you have like a limited number of drones to use to get these dinosaurs. So I'm very excited to see what pops up. This is going to be a fun week, and I don't know how long it's going to last, but it's going to be cool to see what's out there. I know I mentioned it just a minute ago, but those T-Rexes that have been popping up, there was that huge campaign with Amazon, which came out of nowhere, just Amazon shipping this box across the country on a giant flatbed, like the biggest Amazon box ever created, and it had a scanning function on there that unlocked some stuff, and you could actually find out more by talking to your Amazon Echo, and you can actually unlock like a story mode on there of some sort. I haven't done it yet. I don't know if it's available. I forget what the time frame was, but there's like, which is strange, but they're like, follow this podcaster along this journey as the volcano erupts. Everybody is getting involved in this. I know we talked about it, I think last week, the marketing budget being $185 million. Well, it is in full effect, and it's really showing very well right now. And I am just blown away. And of course, the tickets just went on sale recently, so I hope everybody has gotten their tickets. I know it's been selling out pretty quick, so that's amazing. It's nuts. I mean, we've been wondering when are these tickets going to go on sale. They finally went on sale, and people have been grabbing them. And I have not gotten mine yet. I know, blasphemy. I know. I am the head of the Jurassic Park Podcast here, and I do not have my opening night tickets. Unfortunately, I have some stuff going on my end where I don't know when I'll be able to go see it that weekend. It's tough. It's killing me. I just want to go out there. I just want to see this movie. So I'll figure that out soon. But I hope everybody else has gotten theirs. So this is very exciting. And they also did announce that there was, going to be a double feature, so you could watch Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom together. That's amazing. I really wish I could do that. I hope a lot of you are heading out to that on opening night. But speaking of those tickets, it looks like Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is basically heading towards like $130 to $150 million opening, which is really good. I mean, that is exactly what they kind of expected for the first movie. But the first movie overshot that by quite a bit, gaining $208 million, which was amazing. That was incredible. Nobody expected that. It was one of the highest ever. And, now it's been surpassed a few times, but still, that was a record to have. Everybody loved that. That was amazing. And then, there was a lot of fallout from Jurassic World, so obviously it's going to go down a tad just because it's the second movie anyway, but hopefully the people that are, enjoying this franchise and enjoying the direction they're taking will come out in droves and, change the minds maybe of those who are disagreeing with a lot of the choices, but I think the movie might do that for those people. It's kind of a weird time where Han Solo Solo opens up with 100 million or so, and it's looked at as a disappointment. But here we are looking at 130 to 150 million. I think that's pretty good. I think that's something you could expect. Obviously, like I said, they've spent $185 million on their marketing, which is a lot. But I think it will come back, and this will make a ton of money in the overseas market. In this market, it'll make way more than just that 130 to 150. toy sales, you have DVDs, you have all that stuff is going to make this a huge experience, and no doubt, obviously, will continue on into the third movie. But I hope that everybody at Universal sees that this is all worth it, that money that they spent, the insane marketing that they put behind this movie. I hope it pays off, and I think that it will. I'm very excited to see what happens from here. And yeah, I know we teased some of it earlier, but we have a lot of stuff going on here on the podcast as well. We have a lot of great interviews lined up for this month. It's going to be really awesome. I'm very excited about everything that we're going to be presenting for you this month. But throughout June, we're going to be continuing on with Extinction Level Jurassic Park. We're going to have Jurassic World Evolution reactions once that game is released. That's coming up on the 12th. So we have that to discuss in detail. And then we have big interviews coming up, which I'm not going to spoil them here. You're going to find out when they happen. We have Fallen Kingdom reviews, spoiler reviews, non-spoiler reviews. And I am very excited to present all of this stuff for you over the course of June. And continuing on, we've got a lot of stuff lined up for July and the future. It's going to be nonstop, and the fallout here from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is going to be crazy. But I'm going to discuss some of those plugs a little bit later on. But for now, in this episode, we present our monthly Jurassic Mailbag with none other than Jennifer Terek for the month of June. It's the big final mailbag episode before Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom officially hits theaters. We have so much to cover, and I can't wait to hear from everybody that called in or wrote in. And just in case you want to be a part of the next mailbag, which will surely be huge, so make sure to get your stuff in now, because it's going to be out of control once Fallen Kingdom hits. It's going to be all over the place. It's probably going to be way over a 2-hour episode. I don't doubt that. So many Fallen Kingdom questions to answer and discuss. Also, we're going to have, by that point, we're going to have Jurassic World Evolution to discuss. We're going to have the evolution of Claire to discuss. It's going to be crazy. So if you want to join in on the fun, call our voicemail line at 732-825-7763. Email us your audio files or questions to JurassicParkPod@gmail.com, or you can head to our contact page on JurassicParkPodcast.com to fill out our contact form. Now, even if you haven't heard this month's episode just yet, we are already collecting episodes for the next mailbag. It's happening. Even before the movie's released, even before everything else is released, it's already getting crazy. Now, I mentioned those plugs before, so why don't we get them underway here? We have last week's bonus episode. If you haven't checked that out, we've been doing those toy reviews over on YouTube and the podcast feed, so we actually have all that stuff up on YouTube as well. But the Claire and Gyrosphere was reviewed, along with the Indoraptor and the T-Rex mask. We also did the Gallimimus Attack Pack figure and the Allosaurus Roarivore. So we did all of those. Me and Aaron, Mattel sent us most of those items aside from the Allosaurus. As I mentioned, we should actually have some Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom reactions here for you this week via the UK. So it's coming out this week, and I think people are starting to go see it on Wednesday at like midnight. So we'll be getting some word pretty quickly, so you'll have to check our feed later on this week for some bonus episodes featuring some reviews or reactions at least, so we'll keep an eye out for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. And some even more big stuff this week. We actually had the chance to go out to Frontier, the developers that created the Jurassic World Evolution game. I sent out James Hawkins, Steve Hurl, and Tom Fishenden. They all went out to the Frontier offices, got to chat with a lot of the developers and team members out there. They actually got their hands on the game. They played the game for a while. I think they each split it up, so one person focused on entertainment, one focused on security, and the other one focused on science. So that was very cool. The three of them got to change it up a little bit and do a different experience there. And they covered it completely. Their entire day that they were out there a few weeks back. They actually did a full video log, so you can watch that vlog over on our YouTube. They actually filmed before and after, but also there's some interviews in that vlog as well. So they actually talked with Johnny Watts, Michael Brooks, Bo DeVries. They actually discussed a lot of stuff with them and got a lot of details, filmed it all, so you can actually check that out. You can listen to it, the audio version, in the podcast feed. It is there right now. You should see it. And also watch it. Go watch it. They actually put a lot of effort into presenting this video log here. So watch them head to the offices, watch them walking around the offices, doing the thing out there, interviewing people, and heading out after it was all done. It was really great. They also gave us some gameplay footage. So the three guys sat down, played the games, and they actually recorded their sessions. So you can watch those sessions. There's probably, I think, about a 30-minute video up on our YouTube. So go check that out. That's great. That's so awesome. You can see, like I said, science, security, and entertainment all being played out for a while. So, and the three of those, the guys, they actually sat down, recorded a little commentary of their experience with those segments of the video that you get to watch. So make sure to go to our YouTube page to watch those two videos. And we also have another bonus episode. So after you listen to this episode, and then you have the vlog form of the audio, like I just said, and then we have more discussion with those three guys, James, Steve, and Tom. They sat down even longer and did a more of an extended chat about Jurassic, about their experience with these people. So they have Johnny Watts again and Michael Brooks kind of discussing Jurassic in full and their thoughts on the series and a lot more. So go check that one out as well. That's a busy schedule. I know, this episode is going to be over 2 hours long. And those episodes are like 20 and 30 minutes or so. And then our videos. So I really appreciate everybody out there that is taking time to subscribe and listen to this podcast and watch our videos, go to our website, do all those things. I'm sitting here doing this, producing a lot of this stuff myself, and then I have these great contributors who are out there putting in some effort and some work to present to you guys the best content as possible. So we are all working very, very hard here this June and the past 3 years, actually, and going forward to present the best possible content that we can for you guys. And my thought is we all can't experience these things all at the same time, so we need to send these people out there to experience them, to send back some audio and their own experiences, to get everybody involved, to let everybody know what it was like and how it felt and all that stuff. So it's not about, just showing off all this really cool content, which is great. I just want to bring that content to you guys so you can all, feel like you were a part of the journey as well. And, everybody, like I said, works really hard here. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope it's not bogging down your podcast apps too much. I hope you're not getting sick of it. I know we are at the height of Jurassic and the fandom here. So I hope it's good. I hope you're enjoying everything that we're putting out. I know it's a lot. I'm sorry about that, but hope you're enjoying it at least. But as I said, this is a packed episode, and I basically got through a lot of the news already. I kind of skimmed over a lot of that stuff in the intro here. And so we're not doing the news, but we're going to dive right into our almost 2 hour long Jurassic Mailbag for June.
Jurassic Mailbag. Mailbag. Jurassic Mailbag never fails. It makes me wag my dino tails. I'm Brad and Jen, your Jurassic Mail. It's Jurassic Mailbag with Brad Jost and Jennifer Terek.
Welcome back to the Jurassic Mailbag, this time for June. It's our huge June episode before Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom hits theaters around the world. That's partially a true statement since it's been debuting all over the place already, but it's the big month of June. We've got Jurassic World Evolution, we have Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, we have the evolution of Claire. So many things are coming out this month, and to celebrate it all, I have Jennifer Terek here with me. How you doing, Jen?
Hello. I'm so tired. Press week is killing me.
Yes, right? It's just so much going on all at once. June is here to kill us, I think.
I wasn't ready. I thought I was ready. I was prepared. Then I got hit by a giant truck, and it was called Press Week. I don't know how I'm here.
It's nonstop. It's just like one world tour after another, just hitting the globe, and just insane amount of things are coming from all these different places, whether it was like London or Shanghai, or I don't even know where they're on to next, but there's a lot going on.
I mean, and if you're not caught up with the day, you're just going to die, because you never will catch up, because the next day is going to be just as busy. It's so crazy. I try to prepare myself mentally and physically for this. Like I got good with my mouse. Like I got a new mouse, and I was just like ready, and it's killing me. It's destroying me. I don't know if I'm going to survive this.
I think you'll be all right. We'll try to make it through June, see this movie, read the book, play the game, play with the toys. There's so much going on. July is just going to be a letdown. Like, hopefully not much is going to happen. We can just kind of sit with all the things that we have from June and kind of take it all in July. But if you do want to get in contact with us after all these things hit the air, contact us via our website. We have a contact form on there, so you can put a little message in there, or you can send us an email to JurassicParkPod@gmail.com, or even better, you can call our voicemail line, 732-825-7763. Leave a message, no harm there. Just you'll hear a little intro play, and then you can leave your message after the beep. I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to surprise you and be like, hey, what's your question right now, live on air? But maybe if we get one during this recording, maybe I'll just surprise somebody for June. That would be interesting. But we'll have to wait and see. But we do have a ton of stuff. People really came through for June. We have a lot of voicemails. Luckily, I don't have to do a ton of reading this time. Thank you, everybody. You're really catching on, because you just listen to me month after month. You're like, this guy, it just cannot read. He cannot read without messing up. So I'm going to call. I think it's better we call. People really came through. We have a few emails here too, but we have a lot of voicemails, a lot of MP3s, and even a video that was sent in. So we'll try to play them all here today. So it's going to be an extended, probably, episode of the Jurassic Mailbag.
Well, it is the last time we are these people. I mean, we are going to be reborn and different next mailbag.
That's very true. And next mailbag is going to be no different. It's probably going to even be more insane due to all the questions after everything. Like, with the game and the movie and the book, it's just going to be question upon question about how they all connect, and where Claire is in this book and where she ends up in the movie, and what details are from this game, like what you can do and interact with, and all the things that the movie's going to tell us. It's going to be crazy, and I'm really looking forward to answering those questions, figuring them all out on the spots. But let's start here today, since we have so much going on, with a voicemail from Ethan. Let me go back to the start, because of course I was not ready. So here we go.
Oh, okay. All right. Hello, my name is Ethan, and this is my first time calling, so I apologize in advance if I sound a bit nervous, but I wanted to ask you guys 3 questions. So my first question is, out of the Mattel toys that you currently have, which one is your favorite? So fairly simple question. Now, the next 2 questions you might have to think about, and I apologize if I kind of stray away from the Jurassic Park topic, but I'm curious, outside of Jurassic Park, the Jurassic Park movies, what are your guys' favorite dinosaur movies? So the dinosaur movies outside of Jurassic Park franchise. So what's a dinosaur movie outside of the Jurassic Park franchise that you guys really like? My personal favorite is The Valley of Gwangi. The stop motion is done by Ray Harryhausen, an amazing film, and I highly recommend you guys checking it out. And my third question is, now this is something that I had on my mind for quite a bit, and I feel like it's a topic that definitely needs to be talked about a lot more, because I feel like not many people are talking about it much. I feel so. Anyway, my question is now this is the Jurassic Park podcast. Obviously, we are fans of the Jurassic Park movie, but and the cool thing is that with the Jurassic World trilogy, it's kind of sparked a little dinosaur renaissance. Okay, so with that, but I'm curious. Are you guys interested in seeing a true dinosaur renaissance? And what I mean by that is, would you guys like to see other dinosaur movies or dinosaur TV shows outside of the Jurassic Park series? And to give you an example, like, as in a true renaissance, I'm also a huge movie monster fan. So, I am a huge fan of like Godzilla and, Pacific Rim. And lately we've been getting a whole lot of monster movies, and there's still more to come. So there's a lot more to look forward to when it comes to the movie monster and kaiju genre. But when it comes to dinosaur movies, all we have are the Jurassic World trilogy, and that's pretty much it. The only thing aside from that I can think of is that a Dino Riders movie is rumored to happen. Whether that's true or not, I have no idea. But I'm really curious whether you guys want to see more dinosaur movies outside of Jurassic Park, or whether you guys are just content with the Jurassic World trilogy.
Oh, is that it? Okay, cool. Thanks, Ethan.
Those are good questions.
Yeah,
all three
really
of those
was.
are good questions.
Do you want to start off with the toy question? Do you have a favorite toy from the new Mattel line?
My Claire Barbie is my favorite toy. That counts as Mattel, right? Toy line.
Yeah, why not? It's all part of the toy umbrella. Let's.
If that didn't count, I don't know. You go first. I'll come back, but definitely the Claire Barbie for me.
I have two big favorites. Big being the key word. The colossal T-Rex is my absolute favorite and probably one of the best toys they've ever made. I love that thing so much. And we actually have it upstairs in our living room because we just have a giant assortment of toys just spread around the room for our son. And he has these they're literally called little people, just like little kids' toys. And they all fit inside the T-Rex's mouth and in the stomach. And we put like 10 of them in there at once. So we have a good time playing with that thing, even though he's too young for the toy, but he knows how it works. And I love playing with him with that thing. And I think that's my favorite one. And also the Mosasaurus is really incredible. So those are my two favorite ones.
See, I knew I want to pick those, but I don't want to be like common because everyone says that they love those too. And because they are the best too. I mean, the Carnotaurus is so good too. I really like the Carnotaurus a lot. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I have the Colossal as well. And it is the best toy of all time. Like, it really is. And then I saw Josh brought his Mosasaurus last weekend, so I got to see that. And that's amazing. It's like, it feels great. And those two are definitely top notch. But to be a little different, I'm going to say my Claire Barbie, but those are valid choices.
It's so tough. Like, there's so many choices. And like, I have this Jurassic Park Jeep, which is fantastic. I mean, the Indoraptor toy is incredible. Like, one of the coolest toys to scale, because like the Colossal T-Rex is great, but it's just so drastically different than the other toys. It doesn't really fit into the mix with all the other ones that are pretty much to scale. The Indoraptor is so great. But the Baryonyx, the Allosaurus, they're all fantastic.
Oh, and you know what? The RC gyrosphere is really cool and fun. I was playing with that the other day.
Nice. I don't have that.
I really like that. I really like that. It's really fun. It moves like it's cool because it kind of like before it starts going, it backs up a little and then goes, and then like it pivots like really nicely. It's a really, really cool thing.
Nice.
That's really fun.
Yeah, I have a BB-8 from Star Wars. It's kind of like the same thing. You can control it with your phone though, and it's so much fun to spin around and play around. My dog goes crazy for it. My kid I don't think he's actually. It's been a long time. I think when he was like a real baby, maybe we used it, but I have to break it out again. But those things are a blast. But do you have? Let's see. The next question was: do you have a favorite dinosaur movie outside of Jurassic?
Not one that I really watch a lot, but I'm trying to think of dinosaur movies. I guess like The Land Before Time I like, but I don't really watch it anymore. I don't know.
I watched
do
it
you?
recently, actually. I saw it, I think it's on something. I don't know whether it's Netflix or Hulu or Amazon, one of those things. I watched it recently, and it's still great. It really holds up. But it's hard because Jurassic is like the one franchise, the one genre that just decimates all other, competition. You can have like a ton of superheroes from different, DC or Marvel or whatever, even like a made-up superhero, all competing against each other. And then you can have, let's see, like spy movies. There's like Mission Impossibles and James Bonds and just random spies. There's just like so many genres out there that compete against each other and just create like copycats. But you don't really have that with Jurassic. That's a very interesting thing, that this franchise kind of decimates all the competition. And yes, there's a lot of like direct DVD or home video or Netflix or whatever, but nothing comes even close to Jurassic and all that stuff. So it's tough to even pick out some.
Yeah, I can't really think of any. I mean, outside of games, like Jurassic or dinosaur movies, they're just non-existent, which is a good segue into the third question of would we want to see these movies? And as a dinosaur fan, I would say yes, but also as a Jurassic fan, I kind of want to say no, because I like that Jurassic holds that market, and I don't think anything can really come close to Jurassic. And even if they did create something, it would be enjoyable, but in my head, I'd be like, it's not Jurassic, so it's a weird catch-22 happening.
Yeah, I know. It's very tough. And, like there's Star Wars fans, there's Star Trek fans. They can both, share the same space, but we don't have that competition. We just have us loving Jurassic. And I mean, there's little movies like The Good Dinosaur from Pixar. I like that movie. A lot of people didn't. It didn't make a ton of money. Kind of was looked at as a disappointment. And I know he mentioned like Godzilla, which is not really a dinosaur movie, but it's a movie monster. I love the movie monster universe that they're creating with King Kong and Godzilla and whatnot. Even the Ice Age movies have now had dinosaurs in them, so those are always fun. King Kong even just has dinosaur, V-Rexes, whatever you want to call them, in there. So that's always interesting. But are they still making Land Before Times? I think they stopped a few years ago.
I don't know.
But
I actually do remember when Ice Age came out, the dinosaur one, because I love Ice Age. I loved it since I was a kid, and me and my dad always go to see them. And whenever the dinosaur one did come out and it was announced, I was super excited because it was a dinosaur version of something that I like. So maybe I would really be into something dinosaur coming out, more dinosaur things coming out.
Yeah, and I don't know if like a franchise would work, another franchise, but individual movies are pretty great. And if they explore different territory, it would be nice. I mean, Jurassic has explored so much territory, going from a theme park to, a kind of, wild movie in The Lost World, another one in Jurassic Park 3. And now this one is like a horror thriller kind of with like they keep saying like a haunted house aspect almost at the end of the movie. So it's interesting that they're exploring a lot of genres, but I don't know. I think that about covers that one though. You have anything else to add for that?
No, I think that's about it. I got that one covered.
Yeah, that was a good one, Ethan. Thank you very much. This next one is from Rowan. I think it might be a follow-up to one of our previous answers, questions, and stuff. So let's take a listen here.
Hey, this is Rowan. I was calling, I was the guy that brought up the point there where in the third trailer, the scene where the T-Rex is roaring and the mountains blowing up in the background, and they kind of upped the pitch or the tone of the sound of the T-Rex that they had played in the trailers before it. And I thought that it was maybe a new tone, or maybe they were hinting at like that could be what the Indoraptor could sound like, just doing it while the T-Rex does it, just to kind of trick you or something. But I was looking back, and I played the whole, in the original Jurassic Park, I played the whole scene where the T-Rex escapes, and the scene right after Grant is digging through the flares, and then they cut to the T-Rex crushing the car, and the tire is hanging from its teeth. It has that really high-pitched tone that sounds almost exactly like the third trailer. So I thought maybe they just, they touched up the audio a little bit to make the T-Rex sound a little bit differently, but I think they might have just taken that little clip and extended it, because it sounds almost identical if you play them back to back. But it's just a really short clip there where he's got the tire in his teeth. Sounds just like that third trailer tone. So probably is just the T-Rex after all and not the Indoraptor, but I am curious to hear what that thing's going to sound like, because the Indominus Rex, I mean, I don't know, it didn't really have that iconic sound like T-Rex does, so it'd be kind of cool if they could come up with some new sound we haven't even heard yet, like the, the Spinosaurus too. I mean, I don't know, nothing really beats the T-Rex sound. Not that any of them made sounds anyway. It sounds like from what you read from scientists that they might not have made sounds at all, but I like to believe that they make the sounds similar to what we hear in the movies, because that's way cooler. So anyway, figured I'd just have to bring up that point of that little nugget I found looking at YouTube videos. So thanks. Have a good one. Bye.
All right. So what are your thoughts on some of the other dinosaurs and their, roars, whether they're iconic or not?
See, it's weird because in my head, I have the iconic roar in my head, and I don't know where it came from. I might have even made it up for all I know. But, it's I don't know. The one that you brought up before, it does seem different. I don't know that even if it's from something Jurassic, it's not the iconic roar in my head. So I'm very specific, I guess, in that way. You know how in the ride, that roar that they always use going down the hill, that's the iconic roar for me.
Yeah.
And if it's not that, then it's not valid, which is so terrible, but that's how I feel.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, as far as the T-Rex is concerned, whatever was established in Jurassic Park is the roar. And it is tough to hear something different. And I don't even know when what and when has been released. I know there was something just recently. Maybe it was a TV spot or something, and it had another roar, and it's like it just doesn't. Oh, you know what it was? It was the let me see if I can find it. Here we go. I don't even know what to even search for. But it was the scene where the T-Rex pins down the Carnotaurus. There was that roar in that scene. Like there was an extended cut. And it sounded really weird. Did you take notice of that at all?
Do you mean the one in the clip, like in the full clip?
Yeah.
I may have that on BDH Network. I don't know. I've actually, yeah, I do have it here. I can link you right now.
Yeah.
I've actually stopped watching trailers and I stopped watching clips. Like I'll cap them if I need to. Like the B-roll, I didn't even watch with sound. There, I sent you the link in the chat thing.
Okay.
Like I stopped listening to this stuff and I only cap it if I absolutely have to. I'm trying to avoid everything at this point.
Yeah.
So I don't even know the different roars. I haven't listened to all of them. I haven't listened to hardly any of the TV spots. I just cap them if I need to. So I haven't really. I don't even know one roar from the next at this point.
It's so
I've been
tough.
avoiding it.
It is tough too because we don't necessarily know that this is how they're going to come across in the film. And since we've heard I don't even know, just exaggeration, but 6 different roars at this point, it's tough to say what's going to be the one in the film. And I mean, some people can say probably because they've seen it, but here's the clip. This is the one I was talking about for sure, and it definitely sounds way different. This is the Carnotaurus. There you go. Pinning it down. Oh. It sounds so weird. It sounds
a little,
muffled.
yeah.
It sounds muffled. It doesn't have the impact that the other trailers have had. So that's where it was like a downfall for me. And plus, I don't know how finished this moment is because there's no... hold on. There's no sounds. There's no explosion sounds in the background from the volcano. Now, of course, that could just be like delayed reaction there because sometimes when things like explode or something, you hear the, like a firework or lightning or something or, thunder. You hear it after it happens almost. So maybe that's what's going on in that shot. But from the other trailers, it's like the explosions, the roar, everything all at once. That sounded like a little letdown, like it was like some fake roar. So I don't know what's going on there. But that's different than even the one that he was talking about.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
This one here is a little closer to what I like, I think. It's just, it has the right sounds. It just doesn't shake the seats. Like, I don't feel like that roar would shake anything. Mm-hmm. And that's what I want in a roar. I want to feel it in the seat. Like, I want it to, like, reverberate, is that a word? Through the seat.
Well, you should check out, I think, either Regal or AMC now. They have, I think they have Dolby Cinemas where they have speakers in the seats and stuff. And I think Regal has, like, the butt kicker seats. I saw Jurassic World with that, back in 2015, and it was awesome. Like your seat really rumbles. So that would be, a key place cool. to book a ticket for. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can bring up the old T-Rex again. But I'm just, I gotta pay for YouTube because I'm constantly dealing with ads. It's so annoying. But let's see here. Let's see if I can find a roar. This is not. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Let's see. Where's the breakout part? Oh, it's turn the light off. I don't know where it is. Somewhere around here. I haven't seen this movie enough. Here it is. That's a little bit different one, I guess.
Yeah. I like that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's iconic for sure. I love those kinds of noises. Here it is fighting the tires. Here he is. Here's grabbing the flare. That's the one.
That's the one.
That's the one.
That you just feel that.
Yeah.
Like, somewhere deep inside.
So let's take a listen to that one again. Got it. It's high pitched. It's really reverberating. And here is the other one. Oh, there we go.
Oh, that's just a letdown.
It doesn't feel like it syncs up with that scene. Like, it feels tacked on, like they did it after. Obviously, they did it after, but like, it just feels like they're just like, oh, we need to do this real quick. What should we put in there? And to me, it sounds like that one that Bayona was working on, and one of those clips that he shared on Twitter from like inside the editing bay, and it sounds like that. And you could tell that's the scene that they're shooting in the background. There's like a little sliver of the screen, and it sounds like that. And when I listened to that, I was like, that doesn't sound ready. I'm sure they're going to layer other animals and different creatures on there, but I don't know. I hope they do. I hope it has a little bit more impact.
Man, can somebody talented like take that iconic roar and just like place it over that one? Because I want to experience that scene with the iconic roar.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
Well, I think that's what they did. That's basically the roar, that one or the one at the end of the movie, Jurassic Park. That's what they've overlaid over top of it.
Yeah.
I'd like to bring up the ending of Jurassic World, because that one is also a little bit different. The roar is... Oops, here's going to be an ad, so let's mute it. I remember thinking a lot about the ones in Jurassic World and how they were very different too, because yes, this dinosaur is aged, and of course it sounds different. It might not be as impactful as we want it to be. Maybe that's part of the problem, you know?
But I want it to be, so come on now.
But we can't have it our way all the time, you know? Here it is. So that, it's very different, but it does still have that awesome vibe to it that I really like. It has a different like growl warm up to it and then roar, but I really love that one as well.
It's missing like that nasally feeling, like that nasal sound that's just so unpleasant, and that's what's so good about it.
Yeah, I think it's that high-pitched young roar that the Rex gave, you know, back in 1993. I think it's just age, you know, and these are genetically modified creatures that, you know, who knows how their voices act after 30 years.
Well, I just can't accept these things.
I know.
I like suspending belief. I mean, if we can suspend belief that this could be a real thing, I'll suspend my belief that the T-Rex roar could stay the same.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Rowan. Why don't we move on here to our next one, and it's from Veronica.
Ooh.
Hey, Brad and Jen. It's me, Veronica.
And Jen.
I missed last month's mailbag because I didn't know that people were already calling, and you guys didn't put up anything, so I had missed it, which is okay because I didn't have anything to say at the time. But now that I saw this little teaser that they put on Instagram on the Jurassic World page, which I'm pretty sure I tagged the podcast, I am just feeling so many different things. Honestly, I don't know what to expect anymore. You know, we keep seeing so many different things that, I don't know, they're just kind of like, you're going to see them on the movie, you know, but it does, like, you don't really know where it's going to be or how it's connected. And I just wanted to know, like, what you guys think of that. Like, do you feel like there's going to be, like, a big plot twist towards the middle or the end? Do you feel like you might be surprised as to where the movie is going to lead? You know, we have till next month, and from there, we'll have to see. So anyways, that's all I have for you guys. Definitely miss talking to you guys. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I have for you. All right. Trying to contain my excitement. I don't know about you guys, but we have 1 month away. All right. Bye, guys.
Oh, man. That is so great. And Jen, what are you doing to, I mean, you said you were kind of trying to stay away, right? And
I mean,
yeah,
that's like a deep philosophical question for me that Veronica just opened. Because, like, I don't know. I mean, I like that. I want there to be a twist. Like, you know me and my conspiracy that I really want to be a thing that's most likely not going to be a thing. But I really want my conspiracy to happen, and it's probably not. And I really want there to be a twist, and there probably won't be. It's probably going to be everything that we've seen here. We just don't know how it's going to be carried out. How, like Veronica said, we don't know how to piece it together. But we kind of figure out what's going to happen and how it's going to go. And I don't like that we know that. I've been trying to avoid the how at this point because we already know the what. So I'm trying to hide from the how. I don't know. I'm very torn about everything. I want a twist. I want my conspiracy. I don't think we're going to get it. I don't want to know anything that's happening, but yet everything keeps like popping up on my feed, and then I'm trying to hide. So I don't know. It's a very conflicting, complicated place for me with that stuff.
Yeah, it really is. I've been struggling with that over the past few months. Like, I wanted to stay as fresh as possible going into the movie. It's kind of impossible, though, when you're running a podcast and you basically you have to see everything and talk about everything, and whether it's in a spoiler section or not, like, and people are constantly tagging you, and you just see this stuff because you follow all these accounts, and even, you know, it's crazy when the Jurassic World account, you look at it and you're like, wow, are you guys like going too far? Like,
yeah,
you've showed me so many things that I'm like, man, this seems like you should have saved it. And this goes back to the first stuff that we saw. or maybe not the very first stuff, but the stuff in the trailers with that roar that we were just talking about. That moment in the movie is like, man, a lot of people have been saying, I wish I saw that in the theaters instead of on my couch or, on my phone, like just sitting there. And it's a very valid point. And there's been the most amount of TV spots I've ever seen for a movie. And we just heard that the marketing, the promo budget and all that has been $185 million. I think one of the most ever probably at this point. And it's crazy. They're spending so much money on it, but at the same time giving so much away because they have all this money to spend on promo material. And, you see things that were left out earlier in the marketing scheme and you're like, well, why'd you reveal that now? I'm so mad that I saw these things. And it is upsetting. It is tough. And I really hope that there is something in there that you can grab onto and be like, oh my God, I did not see that coming. Because right now, as it stands, I feel like I know what is going on. And as you see all these single scenes, you could basically edit these all together and create a 20-minute long portion of the movie in sequential order that you could assume everything happens. And even the things that we don't see, I can kind of estimate like, all right, I think this is what's going to happen here. And I think that's what's going to happen there. And I have a twist in my head that I think is going to happen. I've got a good idea of what that is. I'm not going to say it, but I have an idea, and I'm thinking that's what's going to happen. I don't want to disappoint myself in any kind of way because that tends to happen with a lot of movies. You just disappoint yourself when you get too deep into it. And, movie like Han Solo, which I saw recently, and I know, Jen, you're sick of me bringing up Star Wars every episode, but
okay.
We're so immersed in it at the moment as well. That Han Solo came out, and I'm like, I'll see it. I'm very excited that another Star Wars movie is coming, but I know what happens. Han Solo's in it. We know what happens with him, Chewie, Lando Calrissian. We know what happens with these characters. So what kind of spoilers are in this movie? But then I hear running up to it, the final 2 weeks before it debuted, people are saying there's big spoilers in this movie. So stay away from the internet. Stay away from any article, anything, because it's going to get spoiled and you're not going to like that. And I'm like, oh my God, now I'm intrigued. What are these spoilers? And I'll say it was a big spoiler. It was big. And it means a lot. It has a lot of impact. So if you didn't see that movie, go see it, people. What are you waiting for? It didn't make as much money as it should have, and it needs you to go see it because it was an awesome movie. And that spoiler is big time, really cool. So I hope that there's things like that in this movie that connect dots and opens the world a little bit more. So I'm excited, though, to see what happens.
I mean, at this point, I'm just highly concerned that there's not a scene that we haven't seen yet. Like I'm afraid that we've seen a piece of every single scene in the movie, whether it be a flash or just a moment or just a whole scene in the trailer and the behind the scenes, just everywhere. I hope that there's at least one fresh scene that my eyes haven't witnessed yet.
Yeah,
that's basically my last hope right now, because I feel like we've seen at least every single scene. Like, I'm sure I've seen every single Bryce outfit, which kind of makes me sad. And because that's exciting when there's a new scene and you have no idea what it's going to be and you have no idea what clothes they're going to wear or what's going to happen. Like, now I feel like we've seen absolutely everything, at least one of everything.
Yeah,
and I don't like that.
Piece it. You can piece it together when you see the movie. You know what comes next because you've seen it already.
And then I'm still like, it's so scary. Like, the closer we get, I feel like the more is at stake, because already I've seen too much, and now I'm just like, okay, I'm done. But yet there's still more coming out. I'm like, hurry up and get here, movie, because I don't want any more. Because even just the other day, I'm posting all these interviews, and in 2 separate interviews, Bryce and Chris in 2 separate interviews spoiled something for me. I guess by accident, I don't know. But it's something I wish I didn't know. I wish I didn't hear it. I wish I would have saw it fresh. And they both spoiled something in 2 separate interviews.
Yeah. It's
so that
tough.
made me sad.
Especially with the movie coming out in London and across the world next week. It's gonna be very treacherous waters out there. And please, people, don't start tagging people whether they're big accounts or fan accounts or what, just don't start tagging people in all these spoilery things because, we're trying to stay fresh even with all the material that Universal has put out. But it's going to be tough waters because usually when you get closer to a movie, they start even putting out more and more TV spots. But I think at this point they put out as many as you could possibly put out. So I don't know what else they could show aside from the entire movie.
You know what's getting me also are all those books, all the sticker books, and all the books are killing me because I feel like I'm seeing more in those than I did in any TV spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's really funny you say that because there's like these scenes and different stylings and all kinds of things that you're like, oh man, like I didn't expect to see that in this kid's book that I picked up off a shelf.
Yeah. Like I haven't read any of the books, of course. Like I haven't listened to the trailers. I haven't read the books. I'll look at the pictures and I'll post the pictures, but I won't read anything because even Josh was reading a couple of the books he picked up and he's like, there are major spoilers in these books if you read through them. And I refused. And I'm like, don't tell me what's in it. I'll read it later. But people are reading them.
Yeah. And it's going to get worse. So we just got to hunker down and get our way through June here and get our way to the movie and enjoy it. I think you just got to forget everything you've seen and try not to take too much in this final month and just have fun with it because it's going to be tough, but I think we can all do it.
I'm also trying not to analyze anything because, that's dangerous because then you start putting things together and then getting ideas and then one of your ideas might be right and then you're spoiled it for yourself. So I'm trying not to think about it. I'm trying not to piece anything together and I'm trying to forget things I've seen and heard. Well, that's my goal.
I've got some trouble for you because we have more questions coming our way to analyze and think about this movie and whatnot. So let's take a listen to the next one here. This is, let me see if I can play this. This is a video file that was sent to us from Nemo. We heard from him, I believe, last month.
Hello, Brad and Jen. Nemo here. So, do you think Stan will kill Blue? Because I definitely think that it's a chance that will happen. I really hope that wouldn't happen because, my favorite character is Blue. Even better than some of the humans. I don't know why, but I just like Blue, okay? But if Stan kills Blue, I think it will be some kind of, I think he's going to use, his arms to like grip Blue and,
oh man,
bite her and, take, kill her by, biting on the Blue's head until, he dies.
Oh.
She dies, I mean. That, I would, burst into tears if that would happen, but, there's a chance. I don't like that chance, there is one because, Bayona, he knows how to make a bit scary and brutal movies. So he might kill off Blue. Well, bye-bye.
Oh, bye. So that is a very tough question, and I was getting real sad listening to that. Were you?
Well, yeah, but I'm not a fan of Blue. I'm probably the only person on planet Earth who's not a huge Blue fan. Like I don't get the hype. I know. I might as well just turn off my mic now. But I do hope that something of importance does die because it'll make for an emotional moment. Like the island dying is a big deal, so there's that. I don't know. It's like will the T-Rex die or Blue will die? Like one of them has to die. I think. I don't think Blue should extend to the third one. I feel like this is the end of the line, but I really don't know, and I don't know. I don't really care either way, probably, but I just want like a really shockingly impactful moment is what I want.
Yeah, that's exactly what we've been saying for a while. Is we need something to carry some weight and some consequences in this movie. I want to be afraid of what's going to happen and not just go through the movie and just everybody's going to live, everybody's going to make it out fine. Our favorite characters, our favorite dinosaurs. I want some growth and change and stakes in this movie. And
stakes, yes.
Yeah, like it needs to feel like something could happen, and not just the Zara of the group, or some random side character, or a mercenary or something like that. I need like people we know and love and get to know and love in these movies to be sacrificed, or a dinosaur in that case. And I don't want it to happen. I mean, I don't want anybody to kill off Blue. I don't want, the T-Rex to die. I don't want these things to happen, but something like that has to happen, I think, to progress this franchise.
Okay, see, that's exactly, you got it right, because I feel like in this movie, it's lacking of a really heavy stakes. Exactly what you said, like heavy circumstances and just really complicated level of stakes, because as people call Jurassic World pretty light, I think it had a lot of stakes. I mean, it had a big theme park that was operating for how many years? 10 years. And then all of a sudden, like, the stakes kept building from the initial escape all the way to the end. They built those stakes very well done. And in this one, I'm like, okay, well, they're going to have to build stakes again. So what are they going to do? I was hoping that Claire would have this big repercussion about what would happen. There'd be all this court stuff, because I wanted that to start the stake. I wanted there to be a lot of court stuff and a lot of pressure on her, and a lot of responsibilities and just fault and heaviness built on her. Mm-hmm. That didn't happen. Instead, we got the total opposite, a lighthearted DPG. And I'm like, that's the total opposite of what I kind of been going for. So there's no stakes on that one. I don't know where they're going to find the stakes, but they better find them.
I mean, there might be stakes there. We know that they're ruling on something. We don't necessarily know at this point what that is. But, maybe there's some stakes involved with her there still. I don't know. But
I mean, that's where my controversy comes in as well, because I'm trying to find a stake. Like, my initial one was the courtroom stuff. That didn't happen. The DPG stuff did. So I'm like, okay, well, where can I find my stake within the DPG? And that's where my controversy came out, because, like, I'm just grasping at these things that hopefully they'll surprise me with, and totally going back to Veronica's question about just shock me in that way. And I feel Blue dying would shock me in a way, and I need something like that.
Yeah, that would be shocking. And, imagine what it would do to Claire, because there's that moment in the trailer. This is not giving anything away if you haven't watched it, but it's just Owen makes a joke, like something like, if I die, remember you're the one who brought me here, or something like that.
Yeah.
Now, that would be like an interesting play on it. Like, imagine if he did die and, like, she had that comment weighing on her conscience. Like, something like that on her would be pretty, shape-shifting. It would make her a different character in the next movie or something like that. So whether that's a stake for her or Blue dying for Owen, I think there would be big stakes for those characters at least.
Okay, let me get on that train really quick, because I know that's been your controversy for a while, and there are two things that I hate that I have maybe encountered that think, oh, well, I don't know, maybe that's going to be a thing. I mean, I'm not going to say what they are, but there are two things that I've seen that haven't been spoken to that specifically, but knowing what you've like put out there and just like matching the dots, I'm like, wait a minute, like, are they going to actually go there? And I don't know. I have no idea, but
yeah, who knows?
But it really though. Owen dying, and then the third movie being Claire and maybe some of the originals coming back, that would carry a nice weight. Like, it would be her film, and then the originals, a couple of the originals coming back for various reasons. I don't know what, but various reasons. That would bring in a lot of people would like that, and it would be literally her movie. And then you have that weight of Owen dying on there. Like, I can actually get on that, because I think originally I wasn't with you. I was like, no, they're not going to do that. But if they pull in like some originals and really build up Claire and make that like a really heavy place, I'm on that. I'm on that train.
That would be a big risk for Universal.
Yeah.
You know, like, because unfortunately Claire is like nowhere to be found in a lot of the marketing for this movie, aside from the trailers and whatnot. But like, it's all centered around Owen and Blue. And that's even the core theme, the through line of each trailer has been that story. Is like, when do you remember when you first saw Dinosaur, and then showing Owen and, you know, training and whatnot and all that stuff. And then obviously the plot line, it seems like this movie is going to be Blue's movie. And in that, it would also be his movie because it's their storyline together. So there's something there. I don't know what it is, but there's something there, I think. But it would be very risky for them to bank everything on him and Blue, and then to either get rid of one of them or both of them. I don't know, but to pick up the pieces and carry forward with marketing it a completely different way the next time around. It would be interesting, and I would love to see that challenge. Not that you can't market anything or, you know, sell something based off Bryce. I think she's perfectly capable of carrying a franchise, but that's just not the way they've done it so far. So that would be interesting to see that. And of course, like you said, maybe adding other people into the mix, that would definitely bring in a big audience. Plus it being a third film, you know, a possible closer to a franchise or something like that. You never know. It could bring in even more people.
That would be insanely risky, but I really kind of want that now, because good for them to do that, to go against any grain that they may have. Like, I love things that go against the grain. Like, even when you pick your favorite Mattel toy, like, I didn't want to go with the grain. I wanted to go against the grain. I'm an against the grain person. So I'm always a party of one. So I would love for Universal to just be that party of one and do their thing and not give one single care what anyone else says or thinks or wants to do, because I think that would be really shocking and really brave, and I really want to see that now.
Yeah. All right. So thank you, Nemo. Let's move on to the next one, since we're almost an hour into this, and I don't even know if we're halfway through. So let's try to move on here. We have a voicemail here from Travis. So let's take a listen. I'm not sure what he's going to send us, so just be warned.
Hi, Brett and Jen. This is Travis, occasional contributor of Travis Stevens Nerdcraft, cast series, etc. Guys, I had a question, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to see Fallen Kingdom unless I can get this answered. So we have a question. This goes to Lost World. Sorry, Jen, but you have seen it now. So here's the thing. Kelly Malcolm makes breakfast, and she makes a fire outside, which is kind of impressive, and actually makes like eggs. But then the whole crew there, they actually see the smoke and they rush back to the site. She's made breakfast, and my question is, does anybody eat it? What happens to that breakfast? Who eats the breakfast? Does anyone eat the breakfast? If you could speculate on that, I would appreciate it. Thank you for all your hard work. Love the mailbag.
Wow.
That's the best question we've ever gotten.
That really is. I mean, it's a tough one to answer too. You specifically remember that scene?
Well, let me just say, I don't remember her making breakfast. So let me think about this. Was it daylight? I guess it was daylight.
Oh yeah. It was definitely daylight. They had just tracked down Sarah Harding, and there's a commercial playing. They just tracked her down, and then they're on their way back to the camper, the RV, and they see the fire, smell a fire in the distance, and they go running off.
Real mad about it.
And she's there. That. Yeah, she's there cooking, and she also has like a huge mess of the most amount of candy anybody has ever eaten. Why was there? I mean, I'm assuming she brought that candy, right? It wasn't like Ian's like, I need a lot of candy on this trip if we're gonna go see dinosaurs.
Maybe he was.
Maybe he did.
He's a unique guy. Maybe.
I could see it, but I queued up the scene here. Let's see if how. I mean,
he's always chewing gum, isn't he? Like he's always eating something.
He is. He always has. Yeah, he is chewing on something at like all times.
It's candy.
You're not the only person to notice that. So let me take a listen here. I have the scene queued up. So Where's the fire?
Where's the fire?
I'm trying to
there
change
it is.
100 years of
wait,
entrenched
gotta
dogma.
Keep going a little bit. We're still a little bit too far.
Parents.
Parents.
Malcolm, fire!
Fire, fire, fire. So Nick Van Owen is getting the water. He's going to put out the fire. Nope, water's going to make it stoke. Oh no.
Who started a fire?
Who started a fire? Kelly.
I just wanted to make dinner.
Dinner. Oh, dinner.
Oh my
Travis.
goodness. It's all wrong now.
Travis, come on,
Mind
man.
blown, mind blown. Whoa.
How could you make that mistake? It's dinner.
That's not acceptable.
Come on, Travis.
Want it ready when you guys got back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then it skips forward that they're arguing and all that stuff, and then they go through the trailer. So I don't know. I don't think they're eating their dinner. But maybe they wait till the sun goes down and eat their dinner. But we have no way of knowing, I don't think.
But that was a very practical choice for her to make dinner because no one eats in movies. Like, days can go by and nobody eats in movies. It's a rare thing.
It really is. And
that was a practical choice.
They do their best to eat in this movie, which is always healthy. You know, you have to do that. Even something you don't usually see in movies is people using the bathroom. And you have Dieter Stark. He has to go use the bathroom. So didn't pay off. But you know, that's the choice that you make, I guess. I don't know. But Travis, that was a royal mess up there. It's not breakfast. It's dinner. So
even I knew that, and I only saw the movie once.
Yeah, you know, you held back from saying it. You didn't want to embarrass him.
I did.
But I queued it up.
I felt bad. And then you went and got the clip and just put it right in his face.
Yep. Sorry, Travis, but we don't got your back anymore, man. You got to look out. But next up, we have an email here from Brianna. It says, this I got to read, guys. So, hang on. It says, Happy Jurassic June, Brad and Jen.
Thank you.
How do you plan on preparing for Fallen Kingdom this month? Do you have a routine for movie releases? I plan to watch the Jurassic movies multiple times throughout June and reread the books. I've even pre-ordered The Evolution of Claire. Also, do you plan your outfits for movie releases? I've got my Jurassic shirt out and ready to go. I hope you have a great month, and thanks for the podcast. Sincerely, Brianna.
I'm excited for this question.
Go ahead.
I have a whole thing. Normally, no, I'm not really too huge on it. Like, maybe, did I do anything for no, not for like Bryce's big movies. I don't think I did anything really, but this one, I'm probably going to cry most of the month because the press is killing me. I'm probably not going to be able to enjoy anything until I am actually, my butt's in the seat because I'm going to be dying from press stuff. But, well, see, the thing is, I'm going to the premiere on the 12th. So I'll probably watch the movie the night before. That's already planned. I'm going to watch the movie the night before, see the premiere on the 12th, and then me and a couple of folks are going to Universal Studios Hollywood on June 21st to 23rd. And we're like making an event out of this. Like we're going to the park during the day, and then we're going to see the IMAX 3D thing that night on the 21st. So like the first 3D IMAX showing, and we're all going like we're not dressing up per se, but we're going very inspired. Like you would know who we are. Like it's not like a full-on con thing, but like a Comic-Con thing. But like they're all wearing their deeply Jurassic shirts. Like, you know that Target shirt, like that dress shirt that has a Jurassic Park all over it.
Oh yeah, got it right behind
me.
Like
they're going. Some gonna wear that. Some are gonna wear like. One dude's like has his Lowry like shirt and stuff, and like I bought the DPG shirt, and I bought like dinosaur, like those dinosaur high tops that they sell at Hot Topic, and I have my DPG socks, which no one will see, but I'll know that they're there. And what else? And like I have green shorts, and which of course isn't like what she wears. It's not a cosplay thing, but it is green shorts and a DPG shirt, and like. Just all that kind of thing. So we're going to be clearly people are going to know what we are doing, and it's going to be like a walking advertisement. It's going to be so much fun. So we're doing that, and then I have the premiere on the 12th, so I'm probably going to watch the movie before that. But usually I'm not really I don't really prep for these things, but this one is organically happening.
Yeah, this might be an interesting one to prep for. You know, I didn't necessarily prep a ton for Jurassic World. I don't remember if I watched all the movies before. I probably did, but it was a busy time because I was getting married that same weekend. So I didn't. We got up there to this place in Pennsylvania where we got married, and I didn't have a ton of time. I didn't bring the movies. I didn't do any of that stuff. So I literally, like, we're setting up for a wedding, and we take a night off to go see the movie. And we wore, you know, Jurassic Park T-shirts and stuff, but that was about it. We didn't really go too crazy because we had other stuff on our minds. But, yeah, for this one, I don't know, because I feel like it's going to tie into the past a lot. So I want to rewatch as much as I can. And luckily, I mean, they all just came out on 4K. I have the digital copies and all that stuff. So there's plenty of time to watch all these things, you know, this month leading up to it. But yeah, that's probably what I'll do is rewatch and wear, you know, whether it's that Target Jurassic Park shirt or just a T-shirt. We'll see. And the thing is, I actually can't go opening night, which is a bummer. But we'll see what we can do. I'll try to get out there sometime that weekend. So, you know, it'll be out for a while.
You know what they're doing there? They have that whole double feature thing going. So that would be really cool to take advantage of.
I know. I've seen a few people have mentioned that they're going to that, and I'm super jealous because that sounds like a blast. But yeah, I wish I could make it out to that.
The only reason we're not doing that because it's not in, I don't think it's in IMAX or it's not in 3D IMAX or something that it's not. It's like just in regular screen or something, like both films. I don't remember if it might be an IMAX, but it's not 3D, something like that. And I remember seeing Jurassic World in 3D IMAX and then seeing it regular, like when it got out of IMAX or whatever. And there's nothing like seeing it in 3D IMAX. So we're not going to pass up an opportunity for that. So I wish that the double feature was all in 3D IMAX. I wish so much because then we would be doing that. But I'm going to miss out on that double feature.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Someone sees it and enjoys it.
Starts at what, like 3 p.m. and then I think it's at 3 p.m. That's a little early, but I don't know I forget what. Is it on the 21st or the 22nd?
It's on the 21st because it's on the same day. I remember the tickets being available today. By the way, tickets available today. Not when this comes out. You're
a few days
late
ago.
when this comes out. But I remember, today the tickets, they were available at 3 for today, or for that day we're going on the 21st, or the 3D IMAX at night. And so it wasn't 3D IMAX during the day, so we're like, wow, okay. No double feature for us.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how to prepare at the moment since it feels weird. Like the tickets went on sale and I'm like, I don't know when I can go. So
oh my goodness, that's so crazy.
I don't have tickets, so it's very weird. So we'll see. But for now, I'm planning on wearing some shirt, and that's for sure. I'm definitely wearing a shirt to the movies.
A shirt? You sure?
Yeah, for sure wearing a shirt. And I'm gonna see it, the movie, sometime. So that's my plan.
That's a solid plan.
It is. That's what I'm going with, and I hope it works out. So we'll see. But thank you for the email there, Brianna. That was great. Next up, we have a voicemail from Dakota. Where is it? I think it's around here somewhere. Nope, that's not it. Here it is.
Hey guys, just wanted to say love the show, love the mailbag. It's one of my almost favorite parts. And love so much more. My name is Dakota Morgan, and I wanted to kind of ask you guys, what would you think about perhaps sometime down the road is doing a kind of, we've seen a trainer sort of thing with Owen, so what would it kind of be like to see some of the other, like, animal handlers, like some of the dino handlers on the park when Jurassic World fell? And would you guys want to see a story of, like, who was taking care of the Rex and the Triceratops and all them, too, like, and what it was like for them to have to leave their animals behind? Because I work at a zoo, so I know that it's you're pretty close with the animals. And so I'm wondering, would you want to see a story like that in a mini short, a book series or something like that? Just wanted to say thank you guys as well, and hopefully you say yay or no. But thank you guys. Enjoy the podcast and keep up the good work. Thank you. Thanks,
dude. That was great. Glad to have you listening into stuff like this. You know, garbage mailbag.
Yeah, I mean, and his name is so cool, Dakota Morgan.
Yeah, man, that is
cool
epic.
name. I really like that name a lot.
But as far as like, spin-off stories and whether it's movies, TV shows, or books or whatnot, I don't know. But I'm down. I'm ready. I want any of that stuff, and specifically like other handlers and whatnot. I think that would be a real interesting way to go. I mean, he said it right there that any handler can get connected to their creatures, whatever they're watching. So I could see that being emotional for somebody aside from Owen. He's not the only one out there that cared for these dinosaurs. And even if it isn't a handler, if it's just some random employee, I would love that. If there's like an employee that's like, across the island, away from a lot of the drama, but something is out there, something's lurking, it could be a really interesting story to tell. I'd be 100% down for that.
No, you know what though? That's one of the things that I've kind of always really, really, really been interested in is the other handlers' stories and what they did with their dinosaur whenever, like the Indominus got out. As we talked before, like Claire didn't care about the other dinosaurs. Nobody really did. She like moved the people, but she didn't really care about the dinosaurs' safety. And all those dinosaurs had handlers. So what was their orders like, or is there someone that like took care of their specific dinosaur? Did they move them in because they didn't move the apatosaurus in? Maybe they moved one in. Maybe they couldn't move them in fast enough. I don't know. But I really am interested in other handlers' stories because even when like I read fanfic once in a while, more than I often, all the time, and they do touch on that a lot, and I'm really interested in those kind of stories because those are things you don't really think about, but there's a lot probably going on back there. Every single one of them has their own story, and I'm really interested in handler stories. So yes, big yes for me.
Yeah, I think it could be really emotional, for sure. There's a lot to tell there, and I think the main story focuses on higher level employees at Jurassic World. You have Simon Mizrahi, who runs the show, and then you have Claire, who's head of operations there. You have like Owen, who is doing a project that is pretty intense with these raptors. So he's not just, I feel like he's a little bit higher than the typical employee at Jurassic World, who's handling some of the dinosaurs and whatnot. So I think it could be a really interesting story. And maybe it has to do with, the debate about whether it's humane or not to have these animals or somebody wants to let them free or something like that. I think there could be a story there, even if it didn't take place during the breakout. If it even took place ahead of time, some 10 years that park operated on its own, perfectly fine. There's got to be a story in there somewhere with handlers or anybody, really.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really interested to see what went on with the handlers, like, during that control room scene is so interesting. It's the most interesting scene, in my opinion, whenever they're deciding what to do, if they should call this, if they should close, like what they should do. And it's like all really tense and good stuff. And I have to wonder, like, what happened after that scene? Did they even tell the handlers that there's a dinosaur loose? Or did they keep that a secret, not only to the guests, but to the other employees as well? Like, that's really interesting to me.
Yeah, we didn't really see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff when it comes to, like, maybe it was like Vivian and Lowry, like, telling employees out there what they should be doing. We didn't really see any of that kind of thing.
Yeah,
like,
that's interesting.
Yeah, like there was one part where, like, Vivian was like, oh my God, something's happening. We have to shut down stuff or blah, blah, blah. I forget what she said. But like, that's like one of the only times. Then we see the gyrosphere operator like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, I just work here. Like, that's an interesting plot point for me, is like this guy that like literally just is there for a job. Like, he has no stake in the company, or he's not going to be sued by anybody. He's not going to, like, nothing's going to happen. He just works there and he's just trying to do his job. I like that aspect of Jurassic World. I think that would be really interesting to dive into, these people who see the Claires and the Owens, and maybe they hate them. Maybe they, Claire's the boss. Like, I don't like her. Why would I like her? You know, she just bosses me around all day. Like, but I love this dinosaur here. You know, whatever it is, I love this one. I want to take care of it. And now they're telling me to evacuate and just leave my dinosaur. Like that's pretty awesome.
I mean, there's so many dinosaurs, and there are probably so many handlers per dinosaur, and I have to think that one reacted differently than what they were probably told because they care more about their dinosaur than they do the head of whoever's telling them what to do. So I have to think that there were some rogue employees there doing whatever they wanted to save their dinosaur, which is interesting.
Maybe even the story after Jurassic World happened, like days after. Like not everybody, abandoned their post, and this handler here was really attached to Stiggy Moloch, something like that. Like the thing is on the island somehow, right? So I don't think it was in any of the material, for Jurassic World, but it would be interesting.
What if, because you know how Claire brought Owen for Blue. It was so interesting if she brought some other handlers with her, like if that was not the DBG team, but like the rescue team, like part of the rescue team was also other handlers.
Could be, yeah.
That would be interesting to me.
I don't know. Yeah, I like the idea of like a rogue person that's just like, I didn't abandon you. Like I'd love to see that scene where like, he's like, I didn't want to leave you. I couldn't leave you. Not like in a weird like loving way, but like. Just like a heartfelt, like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't leave you before letting you free. And it's this like story about how this person has to get from one side of the island to free his favorite dinosaurs instead of like, letting it rot in a cage or something like that.
Yes.
I like it. I want to see it.
Me too, so much.
Thank you, Dakota. Let's move on here. We have an MP3 from contributor Tom. So let's play this.
Hey, Brad and Jen, it's Tom here. I hope you're both doing well. I wanted to ask, since we are obviously in the month of Fallen Kingdom, what story thread or question have you got left from Jurassic World or any of the other films that you hope Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom will answer? I'm really, really excited to see what you guys say.
Yeah, you're really excited? Huh? Let me think of this on the spot.
That's like one of those tough ones that they expect us to know. Like,
I know.
That's a tough one. Okay, so what do I wish? What do I want answered? And
let's start easy. Jurassic World. Let's move our way backwards. See if there's anything in the other movies too. But start at Jurassic World. Do you have anything?
Something. Yeah. I think we just touched on this a bit. But the thing I want answered is what happened with Claire and lawsuits. Like, did she get blamed? What happened to the Mizrahi Corporation? There's a lot of things that I wanted to see that I don't feel like are going to be answered, and I would like them answered. I don't know. Someone had to take responsibility for something. Someone had to step up somewhere. Someone, I'm sure, was getting a lot of fingers pointed at, and it doesn't seem like Claire was one of them, and that's weird to me. So I want to know what happened there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think there's like a ton of lingering questions aside from like, what's the consequence of, making your choices that you made in the park? And also like, where did Dr. Wu go and what's his deal? That's probably one of mine as my biggest like questions is like, where is he? Where did that chopper take him? What is his deal with like Hoskins and whoever he was working with and cahoots with? I'd like to know more about that. I think we're going to get some answers there. So that'll be interesting to see, what the deal is. I'd love to know, if he is evil in a sense, not like truly evil or villainous evil, but like just like a bad guy, like, is he really out to hurt the park and people and is he for himself? Or is he just making some dumb choices that are harmful?
Like, I really want to know who was held accountable and how all these people, victims who experienced all this stuff, like, got resolved. Like, who took care of that? I want to know that, and I don't want to just skip over it and be like, oh, it's a totally different story now, which probably is where we're going. But that's my big unanswered question is who is accountable?
Yeah, and there's a great scene that was cut from The Lost World. You should look it up. I think you might like it. if you haven't already. But it's a deleted scene with Ludlow and like a board of directors and talking about like the deaths on the in the original park and island and consequences and different things like that, and taking the company away from John Hammond and all that. It's a really interesting scene that was cut from the movie, but also it was played on TV quite a bit. I remember seeing it a lot. For some reason, like I remember watching it on like TNT, and they would always play that scene and another scene with Roland Tembo like beating up a dude, which I just literally just watched like the other day, yesterday maybe. It's an awesome scene, but two great scenes that were cut from that movie that were played on TV, and just like I love those scenes. So you should check that one out because it does sort of what you're asking. It like answers questions and talks about what happened in the past. Something like that would be great in this movie. Not cut from the movie, but actually in the movie.
I do want to like put this little thing in. It won't be long, but I read this. It just reminded me. I read this in a fanfic once, and I wanted it so bad. I think it's so much better than what we're getting. But it was a point where the lawyers, I don't know who they were, like the head of somebody, came up to Claire, like right after it came up to Claire, and they're like, you have to be the face of the human resources, like you have to make this look fine, or you're gonna like get sued. Like we're either gonna throw you under the bus, or you have to be the face of human resources and fix it. So they like totally like blackmailed her into one of those two things. So she basically has to force herself and force everything to make everything look okay. So that actually make her look like a worse person in public, because she has to make it look good, like it wasn't a bad thing somehow, like be the face of human resources. But then it's like killing her because that's not how she feels, but yet she's blackmailed into doing it. Like it was such a good power struggle thing, and I know we're not getting that even close to that. But in my head though, I'm like, well, maybe my DPG conspiracy. I'm like, well, maybe that's part of it. Like that's part of her. She had to make the DPG a thing, and even that Mills is part of it, to like push her to have a face of something, but yet meanwhile behind the scenes it's really totally something different, like it's for something else. So I don't know, that's what I've been wanting, but I don't know. That's actually a really awesome idea. Just you have to save yourself and the company all at the same time. So we're gonna tell you, this is your baby. You need to create the DPG. It has to be your face and your image, and we're going to build it back up and eventually do something with everything. But, oh, man, a volcano comes, and now we have to deal with that. But it could be interesting for sure, that. Something like along those lines. I wanted that power struggle so much because, like, that's terrible to have to... You basically have to make it look good. You have to recover so fast and like put the smile on and make it okay somehow. You have to, and that would be so good. I wanted that. I like that. Maybe we'll get something along those lines or something similar. That would be interesting. Thanks, Tom. I hope we. Oh wait, we should go back just a little bit. Sorry, I completely forgot about the other movies. There's other movies in this. No. Jurassic Park 3. I mean, I feel like a lot of the questions for the previous movies have kind of been talked about in the DPG stuff. So there's a lot of stuff there that, like, dinosaurs were all killed off for, certain species, and some were moved from Sorna to Nublar and all this stuff. So a lot of questions have been answered with content like that. And it seems like a lot of these things have been happening. I think they talked about in the DPG, like the Spinosaurus actually being part of that initial rush to do hybrids or something like that. They kind of hinted at stuff like that. I don't know. I really can't think of any threads. I mean, we've seen some teases of things that'll, go back to the first movie. So I'm interested to see no matter what. I don't really have any unfinished threads. It's not like I'm like, oh, where's the Barbasol can? Like, I want somebody to find like that's done and gone. Like, that thread is gone. Like, so I don't really care about that anymore. I don't care about a lot of those things. So I don't think I have any like unfinished threads in the first three movies, really. Do you? No, but I'm fearful that I'm going to have an unfinished thread here in Jurassic World after this movie comes out. A tad fearful of that, but I don't have any threads right now. Nope, I'm threadless.
I think it might open some threads, like you're saying, like for the first 3 movies, like how things relate and all that, and we'll be analyzing it for sure here. But I'm interested to see how it all connects.
Yeah.
Let's move on here. We have an email from Josh.
Oh boy.
So he says, after the conclusion of the new trilogy, what do you think is more likely to happen? Jurassic Park 7 or a Jurassic Park remake? Also, Jen, what celebrity are you most looking forward to bumping into at the Hollywood premiere of Fallen Kingdom? Thanks, Josh.
Bryce?
I mean, there was no, everybody knew that, right?
Yeah.
Why, Josh? What a waste of a question.
What a waste of energy.
Yeah, you didn't even have to ask that. Come on, right?
I think I'm excited for extra number 3.
Yeah. The handler 3, right?
Handler 3. I mean, we have a thing with the handlers now. Might be handler number 3.
So, if we had to take Bryce out of the equation, do you have anybody else that you would like to bump into?
I do. I really just want to shake Colin's hand and be like, thank you, and I'm just really proud of you. I've been wanting to tell him that I'm really proud of him and of his bravery since I saw Jurassic World the first time. As soon as I saw that it was over and the credits rolled, in my mind I'm thinking, I just want to tell these people I'm really proud of them. I'm really proud of what they did, and I'm really proud of what they accomplished, and I just want them to know that I really appreciate everything that they did, and I just really want to tell them that. I've been wanting to tell them that since June of 2015, that I'm just really proud and happy with what they've done, and that's all I want to do. I want to tell Colin that.
Yeah,
I want to tell Jeff that, because Jeff is from my area. Jeff Golden's from my area, so I just want to be like,
Jeff.
Hey Jeff, we're from the same town-ish. So that's what I want to say.
Yeah, I feel like Jeff would be a good one because I feel like he takes the time. He'll stare you in the eyes and be like, what's your question? Or, let's talk. He seems like that kind of guy.
Yeah,
and,
those are my picks. I want to tell Colin that I'm really proud of him, and I want to tell Jeff, hey, we're neighbors.
Yeah, and Colin has gotten a lot of crap for, his choices in Jurassic World and the Book of Henry not being a huge success and a weird movie. And losing Star Wars, so people just rag on him nonstop, and I'd like to see a little resurgence with kindness, I guess, towards Colin.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
And
he's done a great job.
I don't know where his confidence is, but I just want to build him up. I want to build him up a lot.
Yeah,
he deserves that so much.
Definitely deservingly so. And what do you think about the conclusion of this trilogy? Do you think Jurassic Park 7 or a remake?
I really don't know. I've been thinking about this a little bit. I don't know. I mean, it can't be another Jurassic World, really. And I don't know if it can be really another Jurassic Park. But maybe it would have to be another trilogy like this. But that's weird because it was all based on a park. We opened the park. You can't really do anything else to a park. Now they're blowing up the park. I don't really know where else we can go with it.
Yeah,
I really don't.
I know. I hate to say it, but I feel like it'll run its course after the next movie, after this one. It's just it seems how far can you go with this franchise? It just seems like it would have to end at this point. I mean, I don't know. Like you said, there's no more parks. They can't possibly build another park. I mean, it's not going to go to space like everybody jokes. Come on, let's just keep it simple. Maybe cut it off here or go back and do what they're doing with Han Solo, going over a time with a character or a certain aspect like a handler or something like that. I think that's the best bet, or even tie in TV shows or something after the fact, like we've always talked about, how Jurassic World was built. I know the novel, The Evolution of Clara, is going to touch on that a little bit, so that'll be interesting to see how that pans out. But I don't know. I don't know where else there is to go. We'll have to wait and see, but I don't feel like Jurassic Park 7 is going to happen. I think a remake would be more likely. Maybe a TV remake or something.
like Jurassic movies are unique in that way that you only have two major ways you can go. No matter with Star Wars and other films that have a million sequels, I guess the opportunities are endless. But really, Jurassic is very unique that you're either on the island or you're telling stories off the island. And I feel like telling stories off the island, once you get to that point, you can only tell so many stories on it, and you can only tell so many stories off it. So when you're off the island, you're already in that second half of you can only tell so many stories here, and we're already crossed that barrier, and that's kind of like their crossing point, their midway point. And then this movie and then the next one is going to end the mid, like will be at the end. You can't tell more stories off, and you can't tell we already finished the stories on. So it's very unique that it can't go anywhere else, and you can't overdo those stories because there aren't as many. Somehow, for some reason, there just aren't. I can't even think of more stuff that they would do that wouldn't be ridiculous. So I feel like there's nothing else they could do.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are much smarter that can come up with some cool stories, but I don't know. I just can't think of anything off the top of my head. I feel like a remake is probably more likely. Do it Westworld style on HBO. I know Justin, from the Missing Compies has been like really wanting a darker version, which would be interesting. I'll admit it would be interesting for maybe a more accurate depiction of the original book or books. I don't know. It'd have to be very separate from this franchise. I think it would be a while, before they did anything like that. I don't think they could do it too quick because of comparisons. And like we said, these movies have been impossible to recreate in other franchises and in other movies. So I don't even know if like a remake of the first movie could stand in its weight. I don't know. It'd be interesting, but I think that's probably more likely than number 7.
Yeah, out of all franchises, I think this is one that can back itself into a hole pretty quickly because the hole wasn't very big to begin with. Yeah. I know, people make fun of us because, how could you have a podcast about a movie that's, one movie that's good and then everybody says the other 3 are bad. So yeah, I don't know, but it was just a small hole to begin with. So we'll see what they do with this movie, Fallen Kingdom, and the next one. But I don't know. I don't know where we're going to stand after the third movie. So we'll have to wait and see. Thanks, Josh. Let's see. What else do we have here? We have an MP3 from Corey. So let's take a listen.
Hey, Jurassic Amigos.
Whoa.
It's Corey again with another question that's sure
Nice
to drive
voice.
kids out of their mind. What is that? It's a small version of an adult, honey. First off, I just want to say that I can't believe we're this close to Fallen Kingdom. It has been shown, people have watched it, and it's so close to being here for the rest of us. Wow. Flying to Europe really has never been so tempting. Anyway, let's get to my real question today. Now, I'm sure we all know that Malcolm was basically raised from the dead between the first and the second Jurassic novels by Michael Crichton. So here's the situation. You get to make your own Jurassic movie, and you have to make one character that's been killed in a movie be the star of your sequel. Who would it be and why? Now, I know that most people would probably say Muldoon, but me, I'm hard pulling on Gennaro to step up and lead. If there is anyone that needs redemption in this franchise, it is that man. He was so much more hardcore in the first book, and I want to see that on screen. No more bathroom death, just a pure, unadulterated attorney dinosaur adventure. Woo. What do you guys think? I can't wait for the movie, and each day it's getting harder and harder to focus on things like, my job. So I need things like this podcast to keep me in check more than ever. P.S. Still working hard on that Lowry impression. Bye, y'all.
He has such a cool voice.
That is fantastic. That's a really, really good question. I don't know. Do you have anybody in mind?
I'm trying to think who died. Who all died?
All right.
Udesky. Udesky died.
Oh man. See, Udesky could be interesting. You could have like some sort of military backstory, like a prequel, like how he became Udesky.
There's Jurassic Park 7.
It's like, people are wondering how Han Solo, Chewie, and Lando got together as a crew, but we're wondering how, Udesky, Nash, and Cooper, how did they become a trio? How did that happen?
That's my choice.
That is so funny. Oh man. So who else? Like Gennaro is hilarious just because like what even is that story? And I mean, yeah, he definitely needs a little redemption because, you know, he was not a good character, like a great person, because he abandoned the kids. That's a real bad choice, obviously. But he's not the evil villain like that people make him out to be. He got scared. He left the kids. He definitely shouldn't have done that. But, you know, he got eaten off a toilet. Like, it's so goofy that, like, people just gloss over the fact that he got eaten off a toilet, you know, when they talk about their flaws with Jurassic World. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I'm surprised no one ever, like, jumped on that and said, wow, that is stupid. But they don't. They actually love that.
I know, because it's such an iconic moment, and it's, like, you know, in pop culture and all that stuff. But, like, when you think about it, it's real dumb, but we all love it. It's great. I mean, we could talk about Joffrey, the gate raiser guy that you know, he got eaten there. Muldoon, yeah, he would be interesting. He needs a lot of redemption because he does not pull his weight in Jurassic Park. You know, like Clayton Fioriti compared him to Owen just recently, and we're always comparing him to Roland, and Roland is like a way better character, similarly, you know, than Muldoon. So Muldoon needs like that backstory, you know, like to pump him up a little bit, to make us believe that he was actually like a good game warden or something like that. I don't know. The Nedry prequel could be pretty interesting, and he's talking about like raising them from the dead and bringing them back like they did with Ian Malcolm. I don't know how you could do like any of that stuff. Like Dennis Nedry didn't actually get eaten; it was just all a ruse, and he's like he just backed out the door, and just the Dilophosaurus like attacked the door frame or something like that, and now Dennis is just blind. And his face is all scarred and like melted away, and he's just some like evil monster now.
that got out of hand quickly.
I know.
What about is can I bring back John Hammond? Like, is that valid?
Oh yeah, I think that would be valid. I was literally thinking that when I was thinking about the Muldoon story. Like, I would like to see that prequel, but like as far as bringing him back, yeah, I don't know. What would you do?
You know, it's funny. That's like the last person we thought of because we're like, who can we bring back? And it's the most obvious choice.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I would like to bring him back just because I love him.
Yeah, bring him back. And nobody knew he existed. And then Jurassic World rolls around, and he's like, what were you guys thinking? I this is not what my intentions were when I left it in your hands. Like, this is not what I wanted. That would be interesting to see. We could have like the Zara assistant story or whatever she was.
Yeah.
You know, she didn't actually die. She clawed her way out of the Mosasaurus stomach.
Yeah, that's plausible.
There's a lot of options out there. I think they could be all pretty interesting. But yeah.
Mine's Udesky. That's my final answer.
Udesky. That's a good pick. That's a good one.
That's my pick.
Thanks, Corey. That was awesome. Let's see. The last one. We have the last question for the June Jurassic Mailbag.
I'm so nervous. It's the last question. It's the last question you'll ever ask me until my face has seen the film.
Really. The last question before you're a different person who has seen Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And it comes from Derek. So, Derek, you have a lot to live up to here. Let's see if it lives up to the hype.
Hi, my name is Derek, and I'm a new listener to the podcast. I just think y'all are doing an excellent job so far. And my question to y'all is, do you think that the trailers that we've been shown have been feeding us misinformation or are deliberately trying to misdirect us as to what the actual plot is or what we may think has been spoiled for us but may not have actually been spoiled? For example, in the final trailer, when Blue gets shot, is Blue actually being shot, or has the trailer just been edited to make it look that way? And I know this is something that a few movie trailers have done in recent memory. I know that the Avengers Infinity War trailers have done it. Deadpool 2 has done it. And it can just be a way to sort of misdirect people's expectations so that you still go in and have a surprise. So I was just curious to hear what you all think about that, if we might be being led down a different path from the actual movie with what's being shown in the trailers. Anyways, keep up the great work on the podcast.
Thanks, dude. That was awesome, Derek. Glad to have you on board. Like I said before, listening to this, trashy mailbag edition that we always put on every month. It's like the low-level comedy, long-form comedy segment that we have here.
That's being very generous, calling this a comedy.
Well, I called it garbage before, so... But that's a good question, and one that I hope is like really true. That statement about misdirection and misinforming us and putting us in a different direction. I really hope that's true.
Yes, I wish more movies did that deliberately, actually. I wish more movies went into trailers and marketing as of how can we trick people the most, because I hate when it's so straightforward, and I hope that none of this is straightforward. So I'm right with you on I want all of it to be a trick. I mean, you know my conspiracies. I'm trying to go the other way with most things here, and I hope that's the case. I hope that it's not what we see. I hope it's not what you see is what you get. I hope it's totally a surprise, and it takes a total turn to the left, and you just like, whoa, did not see that coming. I want that. I want that so bad.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope we get like misdirection, and like we said earlier, that you can piece together these scenes and say like, oh, this happens after that, and that must be towards the end of the movie, or so I hope that there's misdirection there. There was a scene, I won't say which one, but there was a post from Bayona or something like that of one of the newest like big scenes that people were like, oh my god, I can't believe you showed that, and he said something about how the scene was carefully crafted. And I looked at that tweet and I thought, well, that's interesting. Like, it's carefully, why would he mention that this scene was carefully crafted? Why wouldn't he just be like, yo, check out this awesome scene that we made for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? Instead, he made a point to say that it was carefully crafted, which made me think like, carefully crafted to misdirect or to show us something that might not actually happen in this way, or any of those things. So I hope that's the case. I hope things like that volcano, I think we maybe talked about that before being a misdirection, and it would be, I would almost be disappointed if stuff like that was a misdirection, because I kind of want to see that moment now in the movie, like the T-Rex roaring in front of the volcano. Like, it's so iconic to me that I want it to be true. I don't want it to be a misdirect, but at the same time, it would be nice to see something different, I guess, to be a surprise and in the way it plays out. Maybe it doesn't happen exactly the way we see it, but it still happens. So I don't know. I hope things happen slightly differently, but we've seen so much of this movie that I don't know that they'd change a lot. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I know. We really don't know, and I hope we really don't know. I'm like, yeah, we really don't know. I'm like all disappointed about it, but no, yes, I hope we really don't know. I hope that it's not just what we're seeing. I want to sit there and not be able to piece it together. I don't want to sit there and be like, oh, well, this is going to happen next. I know that this happens next, and have a scene that come up like, oh, I remember this scene from this trailer, and I know how that's going to connect. And I don't want that at all. I want it to just completely shock me. Please, movie. Don't be just showing us all those TV spots and be like, yeah, that's exactly how it's going to play out. No, that does not excite me. Like, that will not get me pumped. I don't want to see the movie. Yeah. Stop showing me the movie.
Yeah, I would be very excited if movies went the route of just showing like a title card, the logo of the movie, and just being like, coming summer 2018. Like, that'd be fantastic. I would be all for that.
Making a point to misdirect you. Like, working at it.
I don't necessarily need it to misdirect. I would love it if it was straightforward and said, You will not see any of this in the movie. This is not the movie. This is just an advertisement for what the movie is, and it's not anything you'll see. You know, sort of like
compared to what we're getting now, I would rather have a misdirection.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like the commercial for the DPG is something that I would like to see more of. You know, it's not necessarily spoiling, I don't think, anything from the movie. Maybe there was a quick glimpse of it or something along those lines. But there's that commercial where Bryce does like a voiceover, and you see her like hanging out with kids in schools and working in the office and stuff like that. That's the kind of marketing I would love to see more of in terms of like a trailer, because it gets you hyped for the movie, but it doesn't spoil the movie. I think that would be perfect.
Yeah, that's valid. But then you kind of are like, oh, I wish this was in the movie. Because now I'm thinking about, do I want the DPG stuff in the movie? And I've had that internal discussion with myself often. And then that kind of builds up a whole other universe of, do I want this universe part in the movie as well? Do I just want it to be promotional material? It's like a weird thing, because we're not used to that sort of thing, really, with movies. So I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah, and I know it's tough because Star Wars, again, Rogue One came out a few years ago, 2016, I think, and it had a lot of stuff that was reshot, so a lot of the trailer was completely different from the movie. Like, none of that stuff ended up making it into the movie.
Wow.
Which is kind of nice, but a lot of people, it hurt them because when they saw the movie, they were waiting for those things like we were talking about.
Yeah.
They were waiting for that scene where, you know, the dude walks through the water with his cape, like, you know, stuff like that, like, never happened. But at the same time, it saved you. You know, like, you were not spoiled by a lot of the things that happened. It went a completely different direction, which is great. And personally, I didn't even think about it. Like, until after, I was like, oh yeah, that was very different than the trailer.
That could be so frustrating, though, because that's like a thing when they show these trailers and then they don't put scenes that were in the trailer in the movie, like it doesn't make the final cut, and you're like, wait, but I saw that scene in the trailer. That was like when Bryce did that Gold movie. Like, she had so much in the trailers, and all of this stuff and all these different outfits and all this stuff, and then in the movie I'm like, wait, I was waiting for that, like, where is it? I was waiting for that scene, it's not here. Like, that's frustrating when they show it to you and they're like, oh, kidding, it's not in the movie, but it's in the trailer. I don't like that, so I might not like this whole I might not like that.
Well, I think video games do it really well, actually, when it comes to their trailers. A lot of the stuff, like Assassin's Creed, for instance, they make like a movie as their trailer. It's like a 2-minute movie or something that, like, it's not really a scene that you ever end up playing. It's like something that, you know, lives in that world. It showcases the landscapes and the gameplay and stuff like that, but it's not like in-game footage. A lot of times they'll, like, for Jurassic World Evolution, a lot of the footage actually says on the bottom, in-game footage. So it means that it's directly from the game. So you know what you're looking at. You know that you're looking at stuff that we will be able to play. But, you know, with the Assassin's Creed stuff, when you watch this movie, you're like, well, this is a highly rendered image that is not necessarily the indication of, like, what it will look like when we actually play the game. It's going to be a lot different. It's not going to be one long cutscene. So I kind of like that aspect where they show you something that is an advertisement for the game, but it's not actually the game. So that's kind of what I would love to see movies do in the future.
That's an interesting thing. Like, I think I could be okay with the DPG thing, because the DPG thing could still be in the movie, just not those exact videos, which obviously is going to happen. Those exact videos aren't going to be in there. And I think I can be okay with that. It's just the trickery, as you said, about with Star Wars, how they show you scenes and you get all excited about for those scenes, and then, nope, not in the movie. But that bothers me. But I think I could get behind what the video games are doing and the DPG stuff. Like, that's okay. I think
I'd be down for that. That's a nice way to misdirect you, but not like trick you. Just literally just tell us that this is not what you're going to see. This is marketing material that's for the purpose of marketing, not for spoiling anything from the movie. I think that'd be interesting. And, you know, people talk about, like, the Avengers made so much money that, like, Avengers 4 will have, if you show anything any kind of material from that movie, it's going to spoil it. So it'll spoil the last movie, and it'll spoil how things are resolved. So like, you almost can't show any footage. So that'll be a really interesting experiment that like, this is one of the biggest movies of all time. How much marketing do you need for one of the biggest movies of all time?
Yeah.
So, Jurassic kind of falls in that territory where it's one of the biggest movies of all time. It's maybe not top tier anymore. It's kind of falling because a lot more movies are starting to beat it. Just in the day and age of, tickets prices and, 3D and all kinds of different theaters that charge more. So, it's interesting to see what will happen in the future to market movies.
Yeah, no, I'm interested in that too, because they can't really, the road that they're going down now with the spoil, and just show a lot, and the closer movie gets to show more, keep saturating, like that's not a good road to go down. So they're gonna have to figure out a way to do it, and I think that's the right way to do it. And it's even by building more content makes fans happier, because now they have more content plus the promo, and the content is the promo, and I think that's a good direction to go in, because the one that they're going in now, I mean, they're just gonna start showing the whole movie before it even comes out.
Yeah,
I hope that they do that. I mean, they have to fix it somehow at this point.
I hope it's wrong. I hope everything we've seen is a lie. Claire says it in the commercial. I hope it's all a lie.
I hope so.
So we'll see. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a lie. I think it's pretty straightforward the way we see it.
Don't do it. It's all a lie. Claire says so.
It is. It's all a lie. None of this is real. The movie's not even coming out, guys. That's a lie. It's not even happening.
Like, what is life anyway? This is just all philosophical now. We're just little pieces of mass floating around a giant fireball.
Yeah.
That's it.
For like an hour and 40-something minutes, just mass fireballs spitting out garbage, pertaining to Jurassic Park. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this massive episode before Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. As soon as that movie hits, this episode's just, there's no point in listening to it. So make sure, saying make sure you listen to this at the end of it is kind of pointless. So I hope you enjoyed it.
What is happening?
This is the mailbag. It's breaking down real quick.
What is going on?
It was pretty tight and like a quick, not quick. Nope, not at all. Pretty like solid, mailbag with not a lot of reading, luckily, so it didn't go off the rails. So I got to let it go off the rails a little bit at the end.
It's gone. I mean, we're talking about little balls of mass rotating around a fireball.
It is. It's massive. But if you guys have any questions for us in July, and you want all your Fallen Kingdom questions, all your Jurassic World evolution, all your the evolution of Claire, too many evolutions. If you want all those questions answered, send them to these gas balls of fire or whatever we are floating around. You can email us at JurassicParkPod@gmail.com. Visit Jurassic Park Podcast and fill out our contact form on there. Or call our voicemail line, 732-825-7763. And we'll answer all your questions in what will surely be a longer episode than this. Oh, no. We got to start these earlier, huh?
It's going to be so long. It's going to be like 3 days. You may have to do a mailbag part 1, part 2, like halfway through the month.
Yeah, I was thinking about that for this, but I don't know. It's too late for that now. It's all one part. So
it's a clump.
I'll just put part 1 at the end of this episode, and people will be like, "Where's part 2?" And will never come.
It'll never. I hate when people do that. You'll be that person.
Yes, that's what happens here in the Jurassic Mailbag. So, Jen, where can everybody find you this June? If you want people bugging you this June, where can they find you?
This June, you could find me at Jennifer_Lynn89. You can follow the Bryce Dallas Howard Network at VDH Network. And plugging this, if you don't have a Claire Funko and you want a Claire Funko, we are giving 6 Claire Funkos away. And actually, the contest ends tomorrow. So you're listening to this now, and you just lost. Unless you entered before June 1st. Sorry. But come visit our website anyway. We'll be giving away more things in the future.
Yeah, as a promo, you just gave away 6 awesome Claire Funko Pops.
Did.
Yeah.
Congratulations, winners.
If you're listening to this, you're just too late. I'm sorry. What are you doing? You should have paid attention.
You should have.
Or just
Where were you?
go to, Hot Topic and find them.
But it's way more fun to win one.
It is, but, unless they have time machines, it's not going to happen. Unless maybe they want it. Maybe congrats. You won.
Then they should have got a time machine. What are they doing?
Obviously, what are you doing? Why? Yes, why?
They're doing everything wrong.
I know. And Aaron, contributor here, that we surely remember here on the podcast, said to me the other day, if I had a time machine, I would go back to, the old days of playing with Jurassic Park toys and visit my parents' basement. And I'm like, that's where you're going? That's it? Like, you're not going to go visit dinosaurs? You're just literally going to go back to a basement.
Wow.
I mean, it sounds like fun. I would probably do it too. But I would definitely visit actual dinosaurs before going to that basement. So in the next mailbag, tell us where would you go? What basement would you go to?
Where would I go?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Save it for the next mailbag in July. We don't have anything else to talk about in July, so we want to know. We
might as well think about that.
We forgot to bring up Stan and how Nemo was like. What were we thinking?
We forgot Stan.
Oh, Stan!
What are we doing?
Nemo, great job. Keeping Stan alive. How did we?
Yeah.
We didn't even. Did we even talk about his email?
Remember.
I'm sorry, Nemo. Did we skip it completely? I feel like we listened to it and then we're like, all right, we got another one here. This one is from. Oh man, I'm sorry.
Maybe he said something that totally made us go in one direction and missed. Oh, it was about Blue. Do we want to see Blue die?
Yeah, that's right. And Stan, you got to keep Stan alive. The Stan name, the Indoraptor. If anybody was confused an hour ago, whenever that was, Stan is our name for the Indoraptor. End of sentence. End of story. That's it. It's not being changed. It's going to be Stan. Just like Rexy is the Rex. Well, Blue's Blue. I mean, there's no other real nickname there. But Stan is the Indoraptor. That's it.
I mean, honestly, we didn't name Stan. He was just born with that name. So
he was, yeah. And
it's just his name.
It's a male Indoraptor, whatever it is. I'm gonna mess up that name for the end of time. But
whatever it is.
that's why I'm messing it up. Because it's being called Stan. That's instead of messing it up, calling it Indominus or just a raptor, it will forever be Stan.
I mean, people don't call you human often.
Some people do. You don't know that. I mean, I get called human. Hey, human. Like that guy on the subway, with Ian Malcolm. He's like, hey, you're him. Stan. Yeah. You're Stan, right?
But not everybody calls you human.
No,
Some people call you Brad once in a while.
Some people, yeah.
So, he should be Stan. Like, that's the respectable thing to do.
It really is. It should say in the credits, Indoraptor. Should it say Indoraptor played by Stan? Or just like It should just not even say Indoraptor. It should just say Stan, played by Stan.
Yeah.
There it is.
Stan. Yes. That's his name.
Now we've officially gone off the rails.
Okay, now everyone who says, I love the mailbag segment, this is the real mailbag segment. This is what we do. We talk about the big bag of stuff and then Stan.
Oh no. Yeah.
Mary Poppins bag.
Yeah, we've fulfilled everybody's, dreams here by going off the rails. And if you listen this long, this is like that bonus that you get for listening. So, congratulations. You made it to the end.
I bet nobody's here anymore. They left a long time ago.
It's just me, you, and Stan.
That's it. Do you need anyone else, though? No. That's really all you need.
It's fine. Yeah, we're fine. We'll talk about Stan next month in July. Thanks, Jen, for joining me for 2 hours and talking everybody's ear off with me. So we'll see you guys all in July. Thanks.
On the other side.
Make sure to visit JurassicParkPodcast.com to find all our past episodes, brand new news articles, information on how to contact us, and much more. It's a great source for everything related to the podcast, and of course, Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. Head to JurassicParkPodcast.com and help us build a great community.
Anybody hear that?
Thanks for listening to the 153rd episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. Of course, a huge thanks to Jen for joining me for the epic June Jurassic Mailbag segment this month. It has been crazy answering all these questions leading up to this movie. It has been a blast doing this every month with Jen. I cannot wait to see what July brings us for that mailbag. You guys are surely going to come through with all your Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom questions, Jurassic World Evolution questions, your Jurassic World, your Evolution of Claire questions. It's crazy. There is so much stuff. So call our voicemail line at 732-825-7763. Send us a voice memo to our email, JurassicParkPod@gmail.com, and message us via our contact form on JurassicParkPodcast.com. Thank you so much to everybody that called this month, and I can't wait to hear from you all again in July. If you want to interact with us, we do most of our work over on Twitter, at Jurassic Park Pod. We're also on Facebook at Facebook.com/Jurassic Park Podcast, and our Instagram handle is at Jurassic Park Podcast. You can listen to us via iTunes, Google Play, Podomatic, YouTube, our website, or wherever else podcasts are found. So make sure to subscribe to automatically get new episodes every week. If you haven't already, please give us a 5-star review in iTunes or a great review wherever you listen to the podcast. It will seriously help out our rankings and make it easier for fans like you to find us. Don't forget to check out JurassicParkPodcast.com for all the links you heard here today. If you want to get a hold of us, you can email us with any news stories, MP3s, comments, or if you want to debut a segment of your own, send them to JurassicParkPod@gmail.com. Or you can submit questions directly on our website contact form. If you'd like to record something for the show, send it in to us and we'll feature it in an upcoming episode. If you don't have any way to record, you can give our voicemail line a call and leave us a message. That number is 732-825-7763. Thanks for listening, and enjoy!
"5 minutes. Drop what you're doing and leave now."